Scott St. John, publisher and managing editor of Pipeline Magazine. We're talking about artificial intelligence and its application to fraud management. Pedro, you're going to show us a little bit of a demo here of how artificial intelligence is currently being used. And I understand you have some growth areas in the next version of the product, 8.1.
That's correct. So what I'm going to show you is a little bit the unsupervised models. And with unsupervised models, we try to address the typical scenario where we don't know the fraud that we're dealing with. We're just looking at some behavior that is not in accordance with what we see as normal. And whenever we see those behaviors, many times they kind of indicate a new way that fraudsters are acting differently just to achieve new frauds using different methods. And the example that I have here on the screen, it's pretty much what we have in our product right now, which is every time we look at our subscribers, we can see different clusters being created, and we can see this cluster that represents 50% of the universe that we have, and we have pretty much 5 fraud cases in there. And if you look at this is going to be 70% of your customers and there's no fraud. What concerns us is when you start to see those very small bubbles in here, which typically they go totally outside the universe of the behavior of your subscribers, and many times they start to show you that there are new methods that the fraudsters are employing to achieve to achieve fraud. We have this bubble view where you can have these clusters identified, but we also provided the capability to measure your fraud behavior in terms of many different variables. Right now in here we are using duration in incoming calls, sales in incoming calls, IMEIs in the calls, outgoing national calls, duration of outgoing. So many different aspects we are monitoring the subscribers, and we can actually start to study our cluster. So let me just compare cluster 331 with cluster 328. So I'm able to just go in here and try to identify, and you can see that this cluster is behaving a little bit different in the components of the IMEIs involved in the calls, differently from this cluster that we have in here. But if you join this cluster that we have it right here, for instance, this 329, and we just put it in, we're going to see that there is a totally different behavior that is being used by a group of subscribers in the network. What we can tell from this moment is I want to know why the subscribers are acting differently, so I would be able to create specific rules for this cluster in our system, which will allow you to understand if you have a new fraud behavior or a new fraud method being used by the fraudsters, you could identify a pattern that you wouldn't recognize until so far.
Right, and that's important because the fraud changes so much that you have to keep up. And in this case, the artificial intelligence is actually determining when there's a deviation in normal behavior to alert you so that you can create a rule around it.
That's correct. So it's the method. So the fraud itself never changes, pretty much keeps the same, but the methods that allow you to commit fraud, those are the ones that we see often a lot of changes, and they do change very dynamically and very fast.
All right. Thank you so much, Pedro.